With War Games being the theme of this year's Survivor Series pay-per-view, management has booked a member from each men's team to battle for the right to have the entry advantage during the pay-per-view. We also saw Chad Gable take on Shinsuke Nakamura. The powerhouse Raquel Rodriguez took on Nia Jax, and Becky Lynch faced Xia Li. Lastly, Drew McIntyre addressed his actions from last week and his status with the Judgment Day. Let's take a look at everything that went down on this Go Home to Survivor Series edition of Monday Night Raw, for this is Ridiculously Raw. Welcome, everybody, to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube and StreamYard.com today. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher. I'm not sure if we're going to have the Phenom Michael Bolick with us this evening. If he is to come in, we will catch him up on what he missed. If not, then we hope to have him back with us Wednesday night for a very special edition of TXN Sports World, our annual football feast, which I will address at the end of the show as part of our future content. Monday Night Raw, Go Home show for this, ladies and gentlemen. It is Survivor Series week. And oh man, it's always exciting when we are at Go Home week for one of the big four events of the year. And this is the final big four event of the year. And let's just hope that it ends up delivering like the other three did. So with all that, let's dive right on in. It opened, Drew McIntyre already in the ring, no entrance, no nothing. He was already standing in the ring, cuts a scathing promo. And then he's interrupted and then all hell breaks loose. I mean, Judgment Day comes out, Cody's team comes out, and then Adam Pearce, he said he laid down the law once again, saying, no, not tonight. That's Saturday night. War Games is Saturday night. You both of you need to select who's going to represent your respective teams in the War Games Advantage match in the main event tonight by 9:00. And as for you, Team Cody, you now have to find a fifth team member, and you're going to do so and I need an answer by the end of the night. So Adam Pearce laying down the law like he's been doing throughout this whole thing. All right. McIntyre did a great job with his part of this segment, but everything that came after felt somewhat forced just to get the two teams to have a standoff, which is something that would be more useful at the end of the show than the start. Adam Pearce allowed the teams to pick which member would fight on this show for the War Games Advantage. Solid first heel promo for wow. But anyways, a good solid first heel promo for Drew McIntyre after the turn from last week. And I don't know what else there is to say. And it was announced it was announced that Drew McIntyre and Jey Uso would be the respective team members who would battle it out, and that is your main event: Drew McIntyre versus Jey Uso. Whoever wins gives their respective team, the power play, as MF calls it, for the War Games match. So there isn't really much anything left to say here. So solid first heel promo from McIntyre. MF, your thoughts on all this? McIntyre's first heel promo, and McIntyre and Jey Uso got to battle it out for the power play advantage.
Yeah, no, this is a solid opener. This is really good. I really got nothing bad to say there. It was what it needed it to be. Standard, prototypical, good heel work by them, and no, I thought they did a really good job with it. So yeah, there's really nothing more to add here, Anthony. So yeah, solid way to start the show, and it's yours.
Forgot to mention this Monday Night Raw tonight from the Van Andel Arena in Grand Rapids, Michigan, on the USA Network as always. And with that being said, let's dive on into what ended up being our first match of the night. just as it was Nia Jax squaring off against Raquel Rodriguez. And Nia Jax wins the match in roughly an even 9 minutes. So MF, your thoughts on this be a one-man power fight?
Yeah, good match, solid fight. With Nia, you never know because sometimes she can be really good in the ring, and then other times there's a little clunkiness with her. But to give her with somebody like Raquel Rodriguez, I thought it was a fine match. I'm not gonna say it was overly spectacular, but if there was one person that would be able to help her get her to a passable fight, you found the right woman to get her to a passable fight. So this was at least a solid 2.5 to 3. Anthony, it's yours.
All right. Give you a quick thought on this. Jax's size gave her an advantage, so she was able to take control early in the match. It was better than expected in a decent, irresistible force versus immovable object kind of showdown. Raquel Rodriguez always looks her best when she is facing someone close to her size or bigger, so she was the biggest highlight here. Rodriguez hit a nice crossbody from the apron to the floor. The corkscrew elbow drop Rodriguez hit looked more like a senton, but it still looked good. All right, we're going to quickly break away. We got some bonus commentary here. 4th and 25 for the Kansas City Chiefs. Here we go in this big game. Mahomes looking. He's going to fire it. It's incomplete. There are no flags, and the Philadelphia Eagles have just gotten their payback from the Super Bowl. No flags. Chiefs have no timeouts. 1:28 left. The Philadelphia Eagles have just stolen one in Arrowhead, MF. Wow. Take a look. He was looking for Justin Watson on that one.
Right through the hands, too.
Yeah.
But it is done.
The Eagles have stolen one in Arrowhead. 21-17. The Philadelphia Eagles go into Arrowhead and defeat the Kansas City Chiefs. The Eagles improved to 9-1. The Chiefs dropped to 7-3. And with that loss, the Baltimore Ravens have just taken over the number 1 seed in the AFC by half a game. 8-3. So,
but obviously, I think the Ravens has a bye week coming up.
No, they play Sunday night against the Chargers.
But they do have a bye week at some point. So Kansas City had theirs. So the Ravens must have theirs at some point. So they'll get back, but oh my.
9-1 for the 5th time since 1966. And each and every time the Eagles have reached 9-1, they've gone to the Super Bowl. Is this a harbinger of things to come? Well, the Chiefs will go on the road to take on the Las Vegas Raiders in an AFC West division matchup. And the Philadelphia Eagles go home to host the Buffalo Bills. What a game that's going to be.
Wow.
And we will get into both of those games Friday night as part of TXN Sports World NFL Friday. But what a win for the Philadelphia Eagles, defeating the Kansas City Chiefs 21-17. They get their revenge from the Super Bowl. And Jason Kelce has finally beaten little brother Travis Kelce for the first time. So
yeah, three opportunities, 0-3 lifetime, including the Super Bowl. This is actually the first time that Jason has actually taken down his brother, and why not? Game of the century type level matchup. For the most part, lived up to the hype. I'm not saying it was overly spectacular, but it did live up to the hype. But Philadelphia, once again, rises to the occasion under the circumstances and has now proven that not only are they the best team in the NFC, but probably now the team to beat in all of the NFL.
Indeed. And on a night where we ended up having no Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift had to change her plans. If you didn't hear the unfortunate news that came out of Brazil, but yeah, Taylor Swift was not there. Could that have had a difference? I don't know, but we'll never know.
We'll never know.
We'll never know. If T Swizzle had showed up, would there have been? Would we be talking about the Chiefs winning this game? I don't know, but nonetheless, the Philadelphia. There's the breaking news, folks. The Philadelphia Eagles defeating the Kansas City Chiefs 21-17, stealing one at Arrowhead. 9-1 for the Eagles, 7-3 for the Chiefs. The Eagles hold on to the number one seed in the NFC, whereas in the AFC, we have a new number one seed, at least for the moment, and that is the Baltimore Ravens. So, by half a game, and they could add to that lead if they defeat the LA Chargers on Sunday night. So, wow, what a game. Maybe not as high scoring, maybe not as exciting as Super Bowl 57, but still another good game between those two. So I know we'll probably have a lot more to say on this come Friday night. But for right now, let's get back into Ridiculously Raw here. Special edition of Ridiculously Raw. Not only are we going to review Monday Night Raw here tonight, but we're also going to preview the WWE Survivor Series pay-per-view that goes down this Saturday night. So get into that as well. But right now, let's get back into the action here. Big night for the ladies here tonight. Big night for the women. First of several matches here tonight. And as coming up next, we had it was Becky Lynch squaring off against Xia Li. Becky Lynch wins the match, 12 minutes and 40 seconds. All right, very good match here. 3 1/4, 3.5 stars. This was a highly competitive and energetic bout that made Xia Li look a lot better than she has on the main roster up to this point. She needed a performance like this, even if she ended up losing. When Damage Control showed up in the crowd to start a fight, Becky Lynch's teammates showed up to turn it into a big brawl. Lee having feuds on both Raw and NXT at the same time is a big step up from not being on TV at all for most of this calendar year. Whatever Lee was trying to do, well, actually, hold on. Some of Xia Li's face paint wiped off on Becky Lynch's face in a way that almost made it look like she had a huge black eye. Whatever Xia Li was trying to do when she was swinging Becky Lynch around on her shoulders probably wasn't what we actually saw. It looked like something got messed up, but it's hard to tell what she was intending to do. But 3 1/4, 3.5 stars. Very good match. We knew it would be, and no surprise with the outcome. We all had a feeling Becky was going to win it. So, but nonetheless, it's the first of the two big matches for Xia Li. Of course, as we all know, tomorrow night she will challenge Lyra Valkyria for the NXT Women's Championship as part of NXT. So, see what happens with that. So 3 1/4, 3.5 for me. So MF, no surprise on the outcome, but boy, howdy, Xia Li, probably her best performance on the main roster yet.
Yeah, no doubt about it. 3 1/4 stars, solid fight. Like you said, could have gone to many different ways, but I think the right result was Becky Lynch winning it. So yeah, nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
All right, MF, and we move on now. Johnny Gargano squaring off against Ludwig Kaiser. Johnny Gargano winning the match in 10 minutes and 55 seconds. So MF, DIY finally gets on the board against Imperium here.
Yeah, it was a solid match. Another 3 1/4 star fight. Could have been better in certain areas, but I enjoyed it. Good match, good fight. Really nothing more to say. So Anthony, 3 1/4, 3.5.
Agreed. Another 3 1/4, 3.5 star rating for this one. these are two guys who have been in the ring with each other dozens of times over the years, so they have already developed great chemistry and know how to highlight each other's strengths. Ludwig Kaiser did a great job selling all of Johnny Gargano's fast-paced offense, while Gargano did the same for Ludwig Kaiser whenever he overpowered him. Both of these guys are so good at what they do that people would be shocked if they produced anything except a fun match with the amount of time they were given. So, the way Ludwig Kaiser countered a tope suicida looked great. Gargano and Ludwig Kaiser's gut wrench slam counter looked awesome. So easily 3.25 to 3.5 stars. Another one of the fights of the night here. All right, now a match that was made earlier in the day. A fatal four-way match. Fatal four-way match to determine the number one contender, the next challengers for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Natalya and Tegan Nox versus Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell versus Kaden Carter and Katana Chance, and versus the randomly thrown together tag team of Ivy Nile and Maxine Dupree. Winners of the match in roughly an even 11 minutes, Natalya and Tegan Nox. Natalya and Tegan Nox win the match. No word as to when this eventual title match will take place. I don't know if it'll be next week or whatever, but any match with 8 competitors is going to be difficult to manage, and it's even harder when they are split up into 4 teams instead of it being a 4-on-4 setup. This match had some fun spots, but there wasn't much to it. It was nice to get so many women in the ring on tonight, but this was the weakest of the matches we got from an in-ring perspective. However, it may have been the most entertaining, thanks to Chelsea Green and Piper Niven being hilarious on commentary, in addition to some of the multi-woman spots. Tegan Nox ended up getting the win for her team to earn the title shot against Green and Niven down the line. The big spot at ringside when Maxine Dupree jumped on everyone looked good, even if it felt a bit contrived to get everyone in that spot at the same time. And that's really all. And that was the only real big highlight here. So this was more 3 to 3.25 stars, but it was still another good match here. And MF, I got to be honest, expected outcome. I mean, based on the interactions, I kind of had a feeling that Natty and Tegan Nox were going to get the Duke here.
Yeah, no, I agree with that too. I thought Natty and Tegan was going to get the shot, but at the end of the day, the right team went over. That's no doubt in my mind. Solid match, about 2.5. And Anthony, back to you.
All right, MF, and we move on now to the face-to-face with The Miz and Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion Gunther. So, MF, how'd it come off to you?
I thought it came off pretty good. I didn't like the ending, though, because I kind of felt like it kind of tipped the hand on how it's going to go. Obviously, The Miz went over, getting the skull-crushing finale on Gunther. That's really bad news, in my opinion, because that kind of sets us up for what it could be. But at the end, I thought they did a really good job with it. Solid match or solid segment. You could say non-wrestling segment of the night. But other than that, yeah, I thought they did a really good job with it. So, Florio, it's yours.
Definitely. It definitely came out very well. It was very well done, to say the very least. It seemed like both guys got a little lost at times, but I enjoyed the segment and the way Gunther compared Miz to the fans in an insulting manner. So, but yeah, I mean, that was one of the best Miz babyface promos. I mean, we all know he's much better as a heel, but he definitely is trying when it comes to this babyface thing, even though we really can't take him that seriously. And oh, by the way, Booking 101 reared its ugly head. Miz got over tonight. I think we all know what that means come Saturday night. So, and we will make sure to elaborate a little bit more on that in just a little bit. So, fine segment there. We move on. Shinsuke Nakamura 1-on-1 with Chad Gable. Shinsuke Nakamura wins the match, 12 minutes and 5 seconds. 3 1/4, teetering on 3.5 once again. Let me just see here. All right. This was a fun match and the best of the series of Nakamura versus Alpha Academy. Chad Gable looking good against other opponents is no surprise, but he needs to start winning some of these bigger matches. Gable's counter to Good Vibrations looked great because of his facial expression. He looked almost insulted that Nakamura would use a move like that on him. And the full Nelson suplex from Gable was crisp. Great wrestling here. 3 1/4, 3.5 stars. MF, Nakamura defeating Chad Gable in 12:05.
Yeah, 3 1/4, 3.5, no doubt about it. Total agreement with everything you just said. But yeah, Nakamura now cleaned out all the members of Alpha Academy. He's beaten every single one of them. So yeah, nothing more to say, and let's move on.
And I do believe it is the big one here. The only one thing has really been announced for next Monday. Well, a couple of things have been announced for next Monday night on Raw. Big Bronson Reed's going to go 1-on-1 with Ivar, the Viking Raiders. Hope the ring's been reinforced for that one. And on top of that, we're also going to have a tag team turmoil match on the men's side. And whoever wins that will challenge either the Judgment Day or the Street Profits for the Undisputed Tag Team Championship down the line. So we'll see how that goes next Monday night in Nashville when we sort out all the fallout from the Raw side come Survivor Series. The big main event, the one we were all waiting for, the War Games Advantage match, Drew McIntyre 1-on-1 with Jey Uso. Drew McIntyre wins the match, 18 minutes and 35 seconds. McIntyre with the win. The Judgment Day gets the power play. So I'm trying to think. MF, did I start the last one or did you start the last one?
I believe it was you that started the last one.
Okay, so it goes to you then. All right, MF. Drew McIntyre wins, 18 minutes, 35 seconds. Power play to the Judgment Day. But hold on. Cody had some choice words after the match was over. He teased about who the 5th member would be. MF, your boy is coming home. Randy Orton.
Well, it's all but official. They haven't officially declared it yet. But yeah, it's all but official. All right. So let's kind of break it down before we do everything. So first, solid main event, fight of the night, 3.5 stars. Could have been better in certain areas, but I did like the closing sequence of the match. I thought it was really good. For McIntyre to win clean, that was excellent because now there's no chicanery, there's no hyperbole, there's no yes, but no. Judgment Day gets the power play, true and honor on that victory. Then they try to get the leg up by doing a beatdown on Uso. That led to the whole crew coming out to even it out, and they had equalizers, steel chairs, so they cleared the ring out. Cody got on the mic, and that's when things got good. And for me, I started geeking out because I was putting the pieces together, and I'm like, yeah, my boy, it's him. It's gonna happen. I'll believe it when I see it on Saturday. I hope they're not pulling the rug out from under me. Because, damn it, I'll be pissed as hell if they pull the rug out from under me. Because I'm on a natural high, man. This is like Bullock with a Taker at when they did the special NXT to combat against AEW. Now I'm on that geek out mode. I am on a natural high right now. Saturday can't come soon enough for me now, man. So there's nothing more to say. 3.5 to 4. Fight of the night. Florio, go.
That's why you're the hype man, MF. Always and forever. This was definitely entertaining, but it didn't feel like a main event for some reason. It felt like this would have been better in the middle of the show. But the problem is nothing else on the card would fit better in this spot. The Scottish Warrior kept talking about how he wanted to take out Jey Uso for good, but he wrestled this match like he would any other. But so the feeling of personal animosity never hit as hard as it should have. Drew McIntyre got a surprisingly clean win with the Future Shock DDT instead of his usual Claymore kick. The show ended with the two War Games teams fighting around the ring. Cody Rhodes revealed that the final member of their team will be Randy Orton, with some obvious context clues. The way Rhea Ripley keeps looking at Drew McIntyre should make Dominic jealous. The rules for War Games are actually very easy to understand, but somehow WWE makes it sound more complicated. Don't worry, we got good old MF Michael Fletcher. He's gonna help us out with that when we get to it. Drew McIntyre is always great at talking trash in the ring because you can hear him over the crowd noise. 4 to 4.25 stars for me. This was the fight of the night, so not much more to say on this. Overall review. Tonight's episode of Raw managed to deliver some enjoyable in-ring action and a solid go-home show heading into Survivor Series this Saturday night. A staggering, listen to this, MF. A staggering 27 women were featured on tonight's episode across various matches, segments, and video packages, which might be some kind of record outside of the Royal Rumble. Every match was enjoyable on some level, but the best performance of the night goes to Johnny Gargano and Ludwig Kaiser, with Becky Lynch and Xia Li. Or should I say, the fight of the night for me was Drew McIntyre and Jey Uso. Close second, Johnny Gargano and Ludwig Kaiser, and a close third, Becky Lynch and Xia Li. War Games is always a fun stipulation, and with the return of Randy Orton set for the pay-per-view, fans in the IWC capital of the world of Chicago are going to be in for a great time. As a whole, it feels like WWE programming has hit its stride recently. It's not perfect, but shows have been consistently more enjoyable from start to finish. I will give this in excess of somewhere between 7.5 to 8 out of 10. Solid go-home show here tonight. So not much more to say. MF, your overall thoughts, and then we'll get into our preview of Survivor Series.
Slight underscore you gave it. I would give it a solid 8 to 8.5. Like I said, slight underscore, but you did hit it on the head. You hit the right moniker here. I thought they did a really good job with this show. So really nothing more to add. Florio, it's yours.
All right, MF, and here we go. The final WWE pay-per-view of 2023. Although there will be an NXT show on December the 9th. It's November, which can mean only one thing in the WWE. It's time for Survivor Series. While some other pay-per-views have been shunted around the calendar over the years, every single one of the last 36 Survivor Series has been in the month of November. And Survivor Series 2023 is no exception. But despite being one of the big four pay-per-views, the reputation of Survivor Series has ebbed and waned somewhat over the years. Low stakes and meaningless matchups have often undone the Survivor Series matches. But as of last year, things were given a serious boost with all things War Games. Yep, for the second year in a row, the main roster will host the brutal invention of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, whose multi-person double cage match dates back to the 1980s. WWE Survivor Series War Games will be live this Saturday night from the Allstate Arena, formerly the Rosemont Horizon, in Rosemont, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago, Illinois. Starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. Of course, there will be a 1-hour kickoff show that will start at 7 p.m. And there's really Not much more left to say here. We have 5 matches on. As of now, it's 5 matches, and last year's card, if I recall, had 5 matches. So we're probably looking at another 5 match. I think these 5 matches are going to, excuse me, are gonna be the 5 that hold up. I don't think there's gonna be anything being added to it. So with all that being said, let's dive on in. We're gonna go. We're gonna go in a certain order here. We're gonna go from let's get the personal grudge match out of the way first. It's gonna be Carlito squaring off against Santos Escobar. This is the grudge match here. As far as this one is concerned, to be honest with you, I got to go with Santos Escobar. I mean, they just turned him heel. I mean, it's great to see Carlito back, but I think Carlito's going to be put in the utility veteran role here. And Santos, I think he's going to get the win here. I think Carlito will give him some fits early, but I do think Santos Escobar is going to pick up the win here. I mean, you just turned him heel, and you want to make sure he has all the momentum, because eventually it will be Santos Escobar against Rey Mysterio when Rey Mysterio is medically cleared, because he had yet another knee surgery. So we'll see what happens. But for right now, I got to go with Santos Escobar. So MF, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll go Santos as well. Going into it, I was gonna say Santos, but yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Santos Escobar is gonna win this one. So nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours.
Yes, indeed. And we move on to the first of our 2 championship matches. The battle for the Women's World Championship. Rhea Ripley defending against Zoe Stark. MF, who you got?
I think Zoe will give Rhea a little bit some fits. They'll give her a moment where maybe a hope spot somewhere along the way. But at the end of the day, Rhea Ripley should successfully defend the title. She has become the best thing for that women's division, especially on Monday Night Raw. And I just believe right now she's just above and beyond anything that we've seen in this site. So right now, I think Rhea Ripley should successfully defend the title and do it without much resistance. So Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah. After defeating Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Raquel Rodriguez, and Zoe Stark at Crown Jewel, Ripley was in need of a new challenge. A women's battle royal was held on Raw with a title shot named Shayna Baszler. While Stark was in the Crown Jewel match, this is her biggest one-on-one opportunity since her involvement in the Trish Stratus Becky Lynch feud, where she got to go with Rhea Ripley. I got to go with Rhea to successfully defend with that in the what's going to be next for Rhea after this match. So Rhea wins for me. Next up, the battle for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. It'll be Gunther. Now, something's got to give here. Gunther putting his record reign on the line. When we get to Saturday night, the record reign will stand at 533 days as champion. He will be challenged by The Miz, and if The Miz wins, he not only ends the record run of Gunther, but he will tie the great Chris Jericho for the most Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship wins of all time. This would be, if Miz wins this, he will become a 9-time Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, tying Chris Jericho. So there's the backstory here. Gunther's record-breaking run as Intercontinental Champion rolls on. A fatal four-way was held on Raw, with Miz defeating Big Bronson Reed, Ivar, and Ricochet to secure a shot at the title. Unfortunately for Miz, he was attacked by Ivar after the bout, and things may not be as settled as he thinks heading into a bout with the dominant champ, but based on what we saw tonight, Booking 101, I think we all know where this is heading. Miz ended up getting the best of Gunther, so you know what that means. Winner and still Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, the Ring General Gunther, MF.
Yeah. Going into this, you could have said that, well, maybe the Miz has a shot here, but the thing is that I don't think it's not just only that they want to make him the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time. I think there's also one other record that Gunther is going after, and that's, of course, if you know the Wikipedia, there's the most combined days of the Intercontinental Championship, and basically, Gunther has not broken that record. Pedro Morales holds that record, and I think the record is somewhere around 600. So it's definitely not out of the possibility yet now. And I know a lot of people would like to see Gunther lose the belt because they want to see him maybe being the one to upend Seth freaking Rollins and finally becoming the World Heavyweight Champion. In order for that to happen, Gunther has to drop the belt at some point. I think my logic would say is that Gunther loses the belt maybe at Royal Rumble, and then that opens the door for him to possibly, what I would say is, Gunther loses the belt at Royal Rumble. Obviously, the winner of the Royal Rumble would probably be Cody Rhodes. So that means Seth Rollins would not have an opponent heading into Mania, because obviously Cody goes after Roman. That's your main event there. So there is another event. There is that Elimination Chamber in Australia. Mm-hmm. That would be the one that would give the ticket to the winner of the World Heavyweight Championship fight. They would get to face off against Seth Rollins at Mania. I think Gunther wins that. Gunther wins Mania, becomes the World Heavyweight Champion that way. So for now, winner and still Intercontinental Champion is the Ring General Gunther. Florio, it's yours.
Are we ready, MF? Oh, you know what's coming. Here we go. Two rings surrounded by a steel cage. War Games. That's the shout out to Mr. Regal. And we started off with the women's War Games match, 4-on-4. On one side, it will be Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, Shotzi, and Becky Lynch squaring off against the new and improved Damage Control, Asuka, Bayley, Kairi Sane, and the WWE Women's Champion, Io Sky. War Games. There's only one man who can do the honors for this, and that is our Gorilla Monsoon, our Jim Ross, good old MF Michael Fletcher. For anybody who may not understand how this match works, you know it better than anybody. Hit him with it.
All right. The rules for War Games goes like this. It starts out with two individuals. They will be locked in the cage, and they will traditionally be locked in between 4 to 5 minutes in the first round. Now, traditionally, a head referee would make a coin flip, but in the case of the women, you gotta log on to WWE.com/Ruffles. This is the thing that Anthony was alluding to the night I think it was last night, that there is a special contest going on, that it's a fan vote that would declare the winner of the power play, as I like to allude to it. So the winner of that power play gets to send their second woman out from the Shark Tank into the match. And then from there, that round would be 2 minutes long. The loser gets to send their second woman out. It would make it 2-on-2. They will alternate every 2 minutes out of the little penalty box or Shark Tank, whatever you want to call it, until all 8 women are in the War Games cage. From there, the match begins. It officially jumps off when all 8 women are in. Only way to win the War Games: pinfall, submission, or surrender. Head referee, there will be multiple referees. The head referee on each side has the call on War Games, and it only ends by pinfall, submission, or surrender. That is the traditional things of War Games. When somebody comes out and they decide that they want to bring weapons into the fight, those weapons are legal. There is nothing else on that one. So who wins it? I believe if you're gonna do a breakup, you need Becky Lynch's team to win. I believe that this could be the night where Bayley loses. This is where I believe not only do I have Team Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, and Shotzi win the War Games, I would have Bayley lose the match. She should eat the fall to basically open the door for them to throw her out of Judgment Day. So for me, yes. So for me, I would have Charlotte, Becky, Bianca, and Shotzi win the match. I could probably say, if you're going to go traditional War Games, I would say either have Becky put Bayley in the disarmer, or have Charlotte figure 8 her to a tap out victory, to a surrender, to just go do. If you're going to play by traditional War Game rules, I would do that as the end for the match. Either Charlotte wins by the figure 8, or Becky with the disarmer on Bayley to force a tap out, to force a submission victory. That is normally the traditional rules for War Games. I would have it that way. Then you would have Bayley get kicked out of Damage Control just out of a jealousy and just the pure anger that the women would have at the end. And it also will open the door for Bayley to become babyface as well. So that's what I would say. Charlotte Flair's team wins it. Anthony, it's yours.
Damage Control bolstered its ranks and is determined to take over the women's division on SmackDown. Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, and Shotzi agreed to meet the group in War Games, but needed to recruit a partner. Damage Control assaulted any superstar their opponents attempted to recruit. Backed against the wall, Charlotte Flair made a phone call to Becky Lynch to even the odds, and here we are. So I do agree with you, MF. 9 times out of 10, the babyface team usually wins these matches. And of course, you got to go with the babyface team here. Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, Shotzi, and Becky Lynch. And I wouldn't be surprised if Becky Lynch ends up eating the fall here. So, or I should say Bayley eats the fall here. My mistake. So, all right. And now we move on to the what I believe will be the main event of Survivor Series, the men's War Games match. The Judgment Day. Damian Priest, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, JD McDonough, and their new partner, Drew McIntyre, squaring off against Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, main event Jey Uso, World Heavyweight Champion Seth freaking Rollins. And even though it's pretty much all but confirmed that the 5th and final team member for Team Cody will in fact be the returning Viper Randy Orton. Everyone involved in this match has been entangled in one way or another over the last several months. Things were destined to end inside War Games, and we finally got to that point after Judgment Day attacked Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins after Rollins' successful World Heavyweight title defense against Sami Zayn on Raw. Things quickly broke down into a brawl involving the 8 men, and Raw General Manager Adam Pearce declared if they wanted to play games, they could take part in War Games. And when it was first announced as a 4-on-4, the big question was whether another man would be added to each side of the match, and it was. Drew McIntyre a week ago turned heel when he cost Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes a chance to regain the undisputed tag team championships from Finn Balor and Damian Priest. And then it was announced tonight on Raw that Drew McIntyre would join the Judgment Day team. And then Cody Rhodes at the end of tonight's show pretty much all but confirmed that the Viper Randy Orton would be the 5th and final member of his team. And it's because of that I gotta tip the scales in favor of Team Cody. And there are some bold predictions here. First bold prediction: Randy Orton is going to be the last man to enter that cage, because the Judgment Day team has the man advantage. So, they'll have the 2-on-1, they'll have the 3-on-2, they'll have the 4-on-3, they'll have the 5-on-4. You know Orton's going to be the last man to enter that cage. You know that's going to happen. And when he comes out, oh my goodness, that is going to be another IWC level pop in the IWC capital of the world, Chicago, Illinois. So, and I'll even go as far as to say Randy Orton's going to be the difference maker. I wouldn't be surprised if Randy Orton leads Team Cody to victory. I wouldn't. So I'm going with Cody Rhodes, Seth freaking Rollins, Sami Zayn, main event Jey Uso, and the returning Randy Orton. And he's going to be dropping RKOs out of nowhere. And no one's going to love it more than good old MF Michael Fletcher, because we've waited, a year and a half for this? So,
oh, yeah.
And when he comes out, you thought Michael Bullock went crazy when he saw his man, the American Badass, The Undertaker, when he showed up on that NXT October the 10th, that Tuesday Night War with AEW Dynamite. That ain't nothing. That ain't nothing compared to what good old MF Michael Fletcher will do when he sees his man, Randy Orton, make his return after 18 long months. We thought his career was over, but MF, like I said, Saturday night, barring a major surprise or a major curveball, your boy's coming home.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be awesome. I know that they're talking about turning Orton heel and maybe him and Cody going at it at some point. You don't have to do it tonight. You do not have to do it at Survivor Series. You don't have to do it then. Give us the feel-good moment. You know the fans are pretty amped about it, and I'm pretty sure Randy will deliver like he always does. They're going to protect him. He's going to get monsterly protected. So, yes, he's going to be the one to win the match. And I do believe he will win the War Games for Team Cody. What happens after that? I think that's going to be the question. I think a lot of people is going to be asking is, what is Randy going to do after Survivor Series? That's going to be the $1 million question more than anything else. So I think we're going to get, eventually you're going to get the Randy Orton typical, he's going to be the Viper and pretty much lay out Cody. And that's going to lead to Cody versus Randy. Maybe they'll do something prior to it. Maybe even I could see them have something where Cody does something to Randy, tosses him out. Maybe they'll have him fight in Australia at Elimination Chamber, because I do believe Cody will eventually go after Roman, but I think what they'll do is Randy will have his say, have one little battle, Cody dispatch Randy, and then he'll go on to WrestleMania to fight for the undisputed WWE Universal title in the main event, night 2. Because I believe that's how they're going to do it. But at the end of the day, I do believe that, yes, Cody will win it. He'll want to continue on that journey to finish the story, but the story will still have a few more chapters along the way. And who knows? Maybe one chapter is to, fit, he might have to deal with a legacy, that legacy story with the one and only Randy Orton. But I do believe for now they'll win it. And who knows? Maybe. And here's the one other thing I might say here, just to be on a personal side. Randy gets the winning fall. I say he gets the fall on Damian Priest. That might open the door for Priest to get kicked out of Judgment Day. Because remember, we were talking about how Priest, because of the JD McDonough thing, that Priest might be on his way out of Judgment Day. This could be the moment. Priest falling to Randy Orton at War Games. Mommy might get really pissed off about it and say, you know what? You failed as a leader. You're out. And then maybe that's how you get McIntyre into the fold, bring him as the newest member, replacing Damian Priest. Then Priest can do whatever the hell he wants. You could have Damian Priest go after the World Heavyweight title. You could have him go after Roman. I doubt he'll go after Roman, but you could have Priest go after the World Heavyweight Championship whenever he may see fit. So who knows how that plays out, but yeah. So nothing more to say. I got Team Cody winning War Games because obviously you would want to have Cody win War Games. That's his father's structure. This was created by his father.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it would be anything more apropos. I just believe Randy Orton will win the War Games for the team.
Yes.
That's the difference.
Agreed.
So Florio is yours.
All right. And with that will put the bow on this edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in as always. We will be back with you Wednesday night, 10 p.m., correct, MF? Just want to make sure on the start times.
Yes, you are correct.
So 10 p.m. Wednesday, and same thing for Friday, I'm sure. So just want to be 100% sure so we can plug this correctly. So, all right. Wednesday night, 10 p.m., immediately following AEW Dynamite. Of course, normally it would be Wednesday Night Madness, but for this week only, we're putting Wednesday Night Madness on the back burner because it is going to be our annual TXN Sports World Football Feast. We will preview the 3 Thanksgiving games in the NFL, the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions, the Washington Commanders and the Dallas Cowboys, and the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks. Plus, we have a Black Friday game for the first time ever. MF's Miami Dolphins squaring off against the New York Jets. And on top of that, we will also preview all top 25 games in what will be rivalry week in college football, the last significant full regular season week before championship week. Of course, a huge double main event, Oregon State versus Oregon in the Civil War on Friday night, and then Saturday afternoon, the game of the year in college football, the game of the century, the Ohio State Buckeyes and the Michigan Wolverines in the Big House. So we'll get into all that on Wednesday night as part of our football feast. No show Thursday, obviously, because of Thanksgiving. Friday, we will be back 10 p.m. It will be TXN Sports World NFL Friday. We'll briefly address the Thanksgiving and Black Friday games. We'll do a quick run through of those games, and then we'll preview the remaining games of week number 12 in the NFL. We got some good ones coming up. The Jacksonville Jaguars against the Houston Texans, for example. the Buffalo Bills against the Philadelphia Eagles, just to name a couple. So we'll get into all that on Friday night. No show Saturday night because we're going to be obviously watching Survivor Series, taking that in. I believe we're going to be having another Sunday night show. I do believe it'll be right around the 10 p.m. Start time, as that will be a special edition of Talking Wrestling TXN. I believe MF made it clear that it's going to be all about the Survivor Series. So I certainly don't blame you on that one, MF, and that's how we'll do it. And then next Monday night, we do it all again, Ridiculously Raw, the fallout from Survivor Series, and the return of my Tony's Take, as it will be Impact Wrestling and NXT Level Up. So that's it. So until Wednesday night for our annual TXN Sports World Football Feast, it's Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, and in spirit, the Phenom Michael Bullock. And, of course, always and forever, the First Lady of Talking Wrestling TXN, the Twisted Angel, Dee Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed couple of days. And until Wednesday night, for our annual TXN Sports World Football Feast, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Zone 25 on YouTube and Streamy.com. And remember, my friends, no matter what anyone tells you beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody, bye.